Morning everyone. Now we are here with another live stream for Nasdaq futures, and I hope you can hear me clearly without any problem. So here we have the Nasdaq futures chart on this monitor. Just give me a little time for adjusting the settings for brightness. Alright, now I'm back again here. I would like to share with you a little bit of my chart and journals over here right now, and we can see on the 15-minute chart over here we were dropping down after a rally up to the opening price, closing price on last Friday, and after that we started going lower in the market, and you can see we had a nice reaction after touching to the daily BC over here. Now I want to jump into the daily chart to show you exactly what it is. Just a moment. Okay. We have this BC formed over here on last Tuesday, May 13th, and we can see after trading above that, we have finished the trading of last week over here on last Friday, and after that when the market opened this Sunday we started going a little higher, and after that we jumped into the daily BC over here. To me the bias should for this week I'm expecting to see a run higher and reaching to this inefficiency in the daily chart, that is CB, and if it is strong enough I'm expecting to go above this to relative equal highs on the daily chart. So saying that, I want to jump into the 15-minute chart and show you a little bit my analysis. Here we have the new week opening gap and the midpoint of this drawn in the orange color, and we see the market has traded up and almost closed the new week opening gap a little bit out of the high of the new week opening gap, and then started rallying lower in the Asian session. After that we had a little consolidation for the last portion of the Sunday's trading. Until midnight we were running lower and tapped into the daily imbalance over here. And during the London session you can see we traded to the midpoint of the daily BC over here, and we didn't close below any candle, below the consequent encouragement. After that we have the rally a little bit higher, and now we are in the consolidation over here. Saying let's say we have these levels over here, and I would like to highlight only this inefficiency over here as our BC in 15-minute chart. I apologize, it's a CB, and you can see the bodies of the candle are all respecting the inefficiency over here, and now we traded just above the consequent encouragement of the 15-minute fair value gap. Now we go to the 1-minute chart directly, and I want to show a little business over here that I did in pre-market session. Just a little bit. Okay. In pre-market session we see that the market has traded lower, and we reached here to the consequent encouragement of the daily BC, and after that we started rallying higher, and after breaking this string high over here, we have the shift in the market structure. The market started going lower and reached to this inversion efficiency over here. The CB is inversion, and then started rallying, going higher to the low of the 15-minute fair value gap. Also, there is a minor buy side liquidity over here, and you can see we traded above it and cleared the orders over here. We had a nice reaction from almost the consequent encouragement of the 15-minute CB, and here is the business I had in the pre-market. Since we started going and we failed to reach the consequent encouragement of the 15-minute CB over here, and we do have this kind of breaker in the 1-minute chart, high, low, higher high, and we cleared the buy side liquidity resting above this high, and in particular this minor buy side liquidity over here. Then the market had a very nice reaction going lower. So when the market was below over here, I recognized that we have this red candle over here as our order block. This also coupled with this swing high over here. So, and we have this BC formed over here. All of these things to me were the draw on liquidity, and the reason for entry to going short over here for me was this breaker block, this down close candle over here. You can see the entry is at 21,164.50, and immediately we started going lower after this one, and you can see the exit price is 21,138.5. That's exactly in this red candle over here, if you notice. Also, I wanted to highlight that I was quite sure that for this position and that is not going more lower over here, because at 4:33 we created this low over here and we started going higher strongly. Then at 5 o'clock, at 4:44, we started going lower than this low over here, and again we started rallying higher, clearing the minor buy side liquidity of this swing high. That is the shift in the market structure. Once we traded low here at 5 o'clock, I was after closing this candle at 5 o'clock and starting going higher, I was sure that this low at 4:44 is our daily low in the market structure. And that has happened kind of after London session. Then we started going higher, and in this run over here even we couldn't go lower than these lows over here. So to me this is the low of the day for now, and we don't have any more business over here because we also reached to the consequent encouragement of the daily BC. So we started a very nice reaction going higher, and we see the businesses all over here. Look that the entry of this candle for this position is also happening between the 5:50 and 6:10 macro time. This is a macro of the pre-market session before 6, and you can see the entry is exactly at 5:59 a.m. New York local time, and within just I guess 5-6 minutes we got 8 minutes. We got our position closed with 25 handles or so. After that the market had another reaction going higher. I was paper trading this position over here to the high of this inefficiency in 15-minute fair value gap, and after that you see the market has been gyrating so far. Before the market I highlighted before the opening bell of the market, I would like to see this relative equal lows over here that has the sell side liquidity, and the next point is the buy side liquidity over here. From these candles to this candle, all of these, they are engineered buy side liquidity over here, and to me now the bias for opening bell should be bullish and starting going higher. If you look at the 15-minute chart also, you can see these relative equal highs over here that is resting just below the new week opening gap low, and to me this reinforces the bias to be bullish for this morning at least. Also you can see still the bodies of the candles are respecting this inefficiency in 15-minute chart. Okay, now we have around 1 minute and 10 seconds to the opening bell, and let's just wait for the market to open and see what's going on in the market for today's trading session. Okay, now just a little bit, I want to also have a look at the regular trading hours over here. You can see the close of the Friday is over here at 21,496, and now we are trading at 21,200. It's around 290 handles more or less. And let's see, just in order to have that level marked, I'm showing you we have this level over here, and get back to the electronic hours, 3 seconds, and yes, here we have the opening of the market. This is the buy side liquidity I was mentioning from this high over here, and we just fell short of touching it. Okay, right now we touched the buy side liquidity over here, and let's see, we have a very big and huge opening range gap, something around 300. So far we are going higher after taking the sell side liquidity over here. Now we reach to the new day opening gap low of May 14th. Now I'm just waiting for the first presented fair value gap to form, and let's see how the market is reacting over here. I would like to also highlight this buy side liquidity of the market in London session, that is at 21,290, and this can be the draw on the markets right now. Getting back to the buy side liquidity of the London session. And okay, now we have this inefficiency over here. I'm waiting for the market to create the first presented fair value gap. No rush for any entry, and you have to also consider that today we don't have any kind of news, economic news on the calendar, so the market can be a little slower, not very volatile or wide. So far we respected the consequent encouragement of the new day opening gap over here, and after touching the low of this the buy side liquidity over here, we started going higher and touching the new day opening gap low again. So now I'm interested in this wick over here and its consequent encouragement. Let's see how the market is behaving over here. After tapping into the consequent encouragement of this week, we had a little run higher, and this is favorable. Once again, trying to go above the new day opening gap of last Wednesday, and still we don't have any first presented fair value gap formed on the Monday 19th of May. You can see the reaction of the market from the midpoint of this week over here. It's very nice reaction. We have around 20 handles run within 2 minutes. And we get back to the new day opening gap range. We still didn't create any first presented fair value gap, and we couldn't go above the market, above the new day opening gap with the candles public closing. Now once again trying to reach to this consequent encouragement of the week. And we failed to reach to this point. Starting going higher for reaching the buy side liquidity from 15-minute chart at 21,290, and we are a little bit below that, getting higher, and yes, we tapped into the buy side liquidity at 21,290. Now let's see if we can create the first presented fair value gap and reaching to this consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap for current week. The next point of interest could be the low of the new week opening gap. That is the opening at the opening price on Sunday, okay, I'm thinking that this can be the first presented fair value gap form over here. I'm just highlighting it. and we have the first presented fair value gap formed over here. This one here and this one here. Let's see how the market is trading with this first presented fair value gap over here. Now we are trading again above the buy side liquidity. Just let me put this buy side liquidity over here. So we have this as our buy side liquidity, 21,300. Well, we got a little far from the first presented fair value gap and getting very close to the new week opening gap. We touched the new week opening gap's low, and let's see what is happening in the market right now. Still, the draw to me is the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap, and I'm waiting for that. Alright, now we tapped into the first presented fair value gap on Wednesday and Tuesday of last week. Now getting back to this first presented fair value gap of last Thursday, that is BC, and the low of the new week opening gap for current week. We almost traded to the lower quadrant of this new week opening gap over here. Back below the new week opening gaps low. Let's see if we can trade into the first presented fair value gap of today. I have placed my order right above the first presented fair value gap and waiting for the market to reach there and fill my order. Let me make the chart a little bit more clean and let's see. Note that the market had traded into this inefficiency over here. That is form of BC. I'm just highlighting this. It's a 1 minute fair value gap. Well, I would like to increase this over here above the first presented fair value gap of Thursday and place this over here. Hopefully we get the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap. I moved my order to this level because these candles were respecting this fair value gap and they were closing above it. So in my opinion, the price is still bullish to this consequent encouragement, and we can have a retracement to this inefficiency over here once more. You can see from the opening bell at 9:30, we had a very big run higher, as I was expected, to this partial liquidity from relative equal highs on the 15-minute chart, and we tapped into the new week opening gap low and traded to the first quadrant of the new week opening gap for current week. Now I'm waiting for the market to see how it's behaving over here, and my bias is bullish towards the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap over here. So let's see. Getting close to my order. I'm also interested in this week and the consequent encouragement of that. Okay, we tapped into the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap and our position still didn't get filled. It traded into this inefficiency over here once again like this, and after that started going higher and higher. And the next objective would be the new day's opening gap high and 16th new day opening gaps, as well as the high of the new week opening gap for current week. Okay, so far we still don't have any trade for today's session, and I'm waiting for the market to have its move. Finally, it has to stop somewhere, and I'm expecting to stop somewhere around here, this first presented fair value gap, and after that, using the first presented fair value gap as a draw on liquidity, going short. So let's be patient, and I'm here to practice my patience and improve myself in trading. As you can know, so far the trade ideas that I had towards this consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap panned out perfectly, and now we are trading right above the midpoint of the new week opening gaps. So I'm expecting this market to have a nice behavior this week, because in the previous week we had the PPI and CPI. It wasn't a very clear run. Also, I was on a trip, a very short trip to the Netherlands, and I wasn't in front of the chart, so it's time for me to get back here and not push my edges, start being and practicing to be patient. Now I'm waiting for it, and let's see what the market gives us. We can have these modifications. Now we are spending a little time around the consequent encouragement of this new week opening gap. To those who are a little riskier, maybe this can be an opportunity for them to enter for going long, and I don't know if I can take this risk or no, I have to wait a little bit more, because to me so far we traded very much higher, and something around 160 handles. We are almost around the midpoint of the opening range gap. And maybe I place an order over here for going long and targeting the high of the new week opening gap. Well, we got into the position and let's see. So far the market is not behaving very nice and we are in loss, 2-3 handles. The bodies of the candles are still remaining in that 1 minute fair value gap, so there is nothing to worry about. I'm targeting the high of the new week opening gap that is resting above the new day's opening gap of last Friday. We have around 4 minutes to the open range that is between 9:30 and 10 o'clock New York local time. Right now it's 9:56 a.m. This kind of behavior is totally normal from the market after a big run higher, because big pockets in the market are trying to kind of either get out of their positions or accumulate for the second stage of expansion. This is completely normal to have this type of consolidation around. This also happens around the midpoint of the opening new week opening gap, so we are expecting this. As far as the bodies of the candles are respecting that 1 minute fair value gap, there is nothing to worry about. It's a little actually tiresome to me with watching the candles with the very small ranges and gyrating around the midpoint of the new week opening up. But this is part of the journey, and I decided to press the button and enter for this position over here. Now I need to be patient and give the market enough time to decide what it wants to do. To me, it's still bullish, even though we reached to the midpoint of the new week opening up, and there's nothing to worry about this because we also have the swing highs in the Asian sessions as resting above the new week opening gaps high over here. If you look at the 15-minute chart, it's around 420, and let's see. Hey market maker, can we have a delivery higher prices please? You're spending too much time over here. Tapping into the low of the new day opening gap on last Thursday. Yes, apparently the market maker listened to me. So let's see. Here I'm placing my order over here, my stop loss to cover fees and in order to save myself. And yes, thank you market maker for listening to me. This is the first time I'm trying to contact you and you're listening to me actually, and I'm very happy. Everything over here was especially exactly as I expected. Look at the bodies of these candles over here. All of them are respecting this 1 minute fair value gap, and yeah, the market maker, as I said, as long as we stay in this first fair value, I'm sorry, this is not a first present, a fair value gap. As long as we stay in this fair value gap in 1 minute chart, everything is bullish to me, and the draw could be to 420 level over here, right above these swing highs of 15-minute chart in the Asian session. And now I'm just watching the market over here to see how it's delivering. Look at the exit. Just look at the exit over here. 399 1.75, one tick below the, oh no, two ticks below the high of new week opening gap. And yeah, this is perfect. Special abilities to trade in the market. Maybe later I will produce a very short video of trade and bring up the ideas of trade over here, as well as the trade I had in pre-session market in the macro time between 550 and 610. Yeah, I think this is a very good idea, and so far today was a very nice day to me. After spending a little time over here, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Around 10 minutes took me to get around 850, and to me this is very nice, very nice, very nice. Absolutely, I can say it's worth it to spend 10 minutes like this to get 800. I cannot find any other type of job to pay me this much money. Yeah, that's true. This is very stressful, very difficult, and the most difficult part of this job is training yourself, overcoming your weaknesses. But before all of that, knowing your weaknesses. These are all important things that you encounter while you start trading. We have this inefficiency over here, and the market is trying to tap into the inefficiency and start going higher. This is institutional order flow entry, and you can see the market once again tapped to the high of the new week opening gap. Just one tick short, and yeah, let's see. To me, still it can go more to reach to the low of this first presented fair value gap of Friday and 420 level. Actually, this is the high of this candle's high over here. It's 418, but you can consider 420 to be a nice round number. And yes, everything goes perfect in this market. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. I only wish to be successful. I just made a new rap for myself. Alright guys, we are here with a very nice run to the low of that presented fair value gap as I was expected. Very short move suddenly happened. Yeah, you can say everything is totally random. Everything is random. Otherwise, tell me otherwise. Tell me this is absolutely random. It's not random, guys. We are going, to me, we reached to the ultimate target of my today's session when we tapped into the 420 level over here, but I'm watching to see if we arrived to this 496 for closing the opening range or not. Opening range gap, I apologize. Sometimes I am excited, I have this type of problems for words in English. You know, English is not my first language. Even though I've been living in English mentality for a long time, around 5 years, I still have a little struggle in moments with the language. I forget. You know, these words are very similar to each other, and it makes it very difficult for me to exactly understand which word should I use, because most of the times I'm not thinking about the words I'm using. I'm just like a normal person that don't think which word I should use right now at this moment, and sometimes my brain gives the wrong order of words for choosing the word. This happens. I'm sure this happened to all of these people. I can say this happened a lot to my grandfather. I always have this type of issue with him because he is calling all of my uncles, and the last name comes to his brain and his mind is my real name. And I'm kind of adapted myself to this, so it's quite normal. So far, we didn't have any retracement to the first presented fair value gap over here, and after that, we started going higher and higher. I was trying to get into the position top of this fair value gap on Thursday, that is resting above the new week opening gaps low. We couldn't. Also, it's the high of this week. We couldn't reach there. It's not a problem. I got my position around the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap and targeted the high of the new week opening gap. And you see it also delivered twice of the range to this high of the new week opening gap. But this is not important. If we measure, yeah, you can see it's around 90 handles. That is a kind of very nice move within 10-20 minutes in Nasdaq futures. I'm so happy and grateful for the knowledge I acquired with the studies of more than 1 year, spending every fucking day at the charts. There were a lot of weekends, holidays that I stayed at home. I stuck myself in front of the chart and tried to figure it out how to the market gave me. I'm so happy for this knowledge that Michael shared with us, and I'm happy that all of the effort I put in this didn't go to waste. Sometimes, as Gattuso, the football player of AC Milan, once said in the interview, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit is negative, but who cares? Because that's part of the market. You just need to focus and do what the strategy, what the model is telling you to do. That's it. There's no other way. And never fight the market. You have to fight yourself. You have to become master of yourself to become successful in this market. Okay, so I was talking a little bit from deep of my heart, and I'm happy. I'm happy that there is this space over here that I can talk. I don't have any problem sharing these stuffs with you. Maybe some people are scared, maybe some people are nervous, but everything is good. Everything is nice. Well, there is a comment on the chat. This is due to my weak connection online over here. That is not a problem. Sometimes it happens. Now you can see still the market is respecting this first presented fair value gap of Friday, and the market had traded into this inefficiency over here once and started going higher. To me, the high of the open range gap at 21,000, let's say 500, is the draw on liquidity for this session. And let's see if the market is able to trade up there. Okay, now we have another run from this inefficiency over here. I'm highlighting this. This is also very nice run. And the draw could be this 500 level over here. Now if the market trades back into this inefficiency over here, the first presented fair value gap, or even this inefficiency, I will consider another run higher, but I have to be patient and see it. After tapping to the first presented PM session fair value gap, we got a kind of rejection going lower, and I'm expecting to see this inefficiency tapped into, and preferably this inefficiency for a run higher towards the open range gap high over here in blue side. Now we have a little difficulties to go around higher. At this time I'm expecting a little around lower. we traded into this fair value gap, and now I'm waiting to see if it gets rejected from going lower and trying to reach higher prices. So far this is favorable, staying over here. As I said, top of this swing high over here, I'm expecting to send the price higher. Now going lower to see if this inefficiency over here is enough or no. The market will trade into this one over here. After tapping into the first presented fair value gap on May 16, we have a smaller run higher, around 15-20 handles. Getting back into that inefficiency. Still the market is trying to reach higher prices, but let's see. In my opinion, now they have done quite a lot for this time. I'm expecting to see a little run below this swing point over here. They can send the price lower and use this red candle over here as a breaker The close should be below this fair value gap with the body close below that, and then use this fair value gap and preferably this red candle as a potential to send price lower. This fair value gap, in my opinion, can come inversion. It has the potential based on the time and the place we are at the market over here. Since opening bell we just started going higher and higher, we didn't have any retracement lower except around the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap. We consolidated a little bit and then started again going higher. So to me, this level over here can be interesting point for going short. In case we close below this fair value gap. Once again trading to the high of the new week opening gap. Note that when I say closing below the fair value gap, I'm expecting to see a big candle closing below the fair value gap, not just by 2-3 handles out of the fair value gap closure. I require it to close with a quite good distance. I placed another order for going short. I got filled in this position. The ideal target to me is this relative equal loss listing over here, as you can see, that is right below the consequent encouragement, and I'm reducing the risk above the consequent encouragement of this inversion fair value gap. Now we are trading between the new day opening gap of Friday and new day opening gap of 15 Thursday around the consequent encouragement. Once again, we tapped into the inversion fair value gap. Okay, we got stopped out. It's not a problem. We can still have time and chance for going low or going in another position. we tapped into this breaker block over here. Now I'm waiting for the candles and their closing. We respected the fair value gap by their bodies. Trading below the consequent encouragement of this inversion. Okay, let me also change the color. A midpoint of the first presented fair value gap on Friday was tapped. Okay, the second position here is also a loss, and it's not a problem. Now we are trading around the consequent encouragement of this 1 minute inversion fair value gap.